First news for today. First of all, let's try to track down what all we have to study. Look at the question and then you will answer this question first. With reference to the IPSA Dialogue Forum, consider the following statements. This is with respect to IPSA. IPSA is a trilateral forum which is formed by India, Brazil and South Africa, which are also predominantly the chairs of the G20 in the consequential manner only, India, Brazil and South Africa. So IPSA is the only trilateral grouping comprising developing democracies from Asia, Africa and South America that predates both BRICS and the G20. Beg your pardon. The proposed IPSA Digital Innovation Alliance aims to facilitate the exchange of digital public infrastructure, DPI, a public infrastructure which is basically digital in nature, whatever that you see with respect to UPI, Ayushman Bharat, the Jan Arogya Yojana, Ayushman Bharat program, the CoWIN, everything is a part of the DPI, digital public infrastructure. So, digital public infrastructure such as interoperable payment systems and health platforms among member states. Thereafter, IPSAMAR, IBSA, MAR means marine. IPSAMAR, the naval exercise under IPSA is conducted annually and is mandated under the original Brasilia Declaration. The IPSA fund is recognized by the United Nations and has supported development cooperation projects primarily in least developed countries. Now you have to tell me what is the correct answer. Need the comment section to be a little bigger. Okay, Raj, good evening. Hi Raj, hi Memuna, how are you? Hi Achal, how are you? I am good, thank you so much for asking. Hi Khan, how are you? Come on, answer this question guys, then we will discuss what will be the correct answer so that I can see who have answered it correctly. Come on, come on, come on, give me the answers. Give me the answers, please. Thank you so much. We are talking about IPSA. You have to answer it correctly. Okay, you give me your answers. Till then, I'm trying to make out IPSA for you. What is IPSA and why is it important? IPSA. India, Brazil, South Africa Forum, IPSA. What is it? It is actually a trilateral forum which was formed by the Brasilia Declaration. So it is a trilateral forum which was formed by a declaration. In Brazil, we have the Brasilia. So that is the Brasilia Declaration. The Brasilia Declaration was a declaration which wanted to ensure that the biggest democracies of Global South should come together. So it mandates that the biggest or the most important, won't write biggest, but most important democracies should come together so that cooperation can be made easy. Cooperation has to be done in the form of political sphere, trilateral dialogue mechanism, a trilateral dialogue mechanism it is, and also South-South cooperation. What? The South-South cooperation. So, it was important to ensure that these three most important democracies of Global South should come together. Now, because the Global South is a concept, we have to talk about that as well. And it is something that is rising recently through the Voice of the Global South Summit. What is the Global South? Global South is a concept. It is a concept and it is used for underdeveloped or developing economies. Now, we do not use the term third world countries, first world countries, second world countries. We either use developed economies, developing economies, or underdeveloped economies. All right. So this terminology that you used to hear before a long time ago, which we used to say that there is third world country, this is the second world country, this is the first world country, that is not used very often. Hi Shrishti, how are you? Hi Lekpal and Shu. Hi Ishita, how are you? Good evening, everyone. So now you will not hear all this. You will hear either global north, global south, or you will hear developed, developing, or underdeveloped countries. All right. So it is a concept. What the global south, the global south. The global south is a concept with respect to underdeveloped or developing economies, which actually are coinciding with the southern hemisphere. Now this is not very strict in nature. That means, for example, if I give you the example of Australia, Australia is lying in the southern hemisphere, but it is not considered to be a part of the global south. Why? Because we are talking about underdeveloped or developing economies that coincide with the southern hemisphere. Both these criteria have to be fulfilled in order for a country to become a global south. That has to be kept in mind. Okay, it's not so that if it is underdeveloped country and it is lying in the northern hemisphere, that cannot be considered as a part of the global south. It can be. However, if we have to keep in mind, economy is a big factor. Economy plays a big role in understanding if it is a part of the global south or not. So even though Australia is lying in the southern hemisphere, does not mean that it will become a part of the global south. Why? Because it is a developed economy, not a developing or an underdeveloped economy. All right. So most of the countries, most, not all, keep that in mind. Most is the keyword here. Most of the countries that lie in the southern hemisphere are either developing or they are underdeveloped in nature. That is majorly Africa, here South America, and Asia. So these countries which lie in the southern hemisphere with developing or underdeveloped economy, they are considered to be a part of the global south. There is a line, there is an imaginary line which joins the global south, and this imaginary line is known by the name of Brandt line. Brandt line. Okay, so this is an imaginary line, and this says that all the developed countries, most of the developed countries, not all, so most of the developed countries, they are lying in the northern hemisphere, and most of the developing or underdeveloped countries are lying in the southern hemisphere. So the line which delineates both the categories is known by the name of Brandt line. Okay, Brandt line is an imaginary line which divides the global north to the global south. Global north from the global south. From the global south. Please keep this in mind, because if you keep this in mind, then only you will understand it. Hi Mr. Kanhaiya Chaudhary, how are you? Alright, please note it down as well, because this could be asked in your examination and I want everybody to have proper understanding of it. Alright, now let's move on to IPSA. I was talking about IPSA, right? IPSA, it was formed by the Brasilia Declaration and it was formed in the year 2003. 2003 is the establishment year. That means it predates the BRICS organization. BRICS was formed in 2010 when South Africa also joined. And then if I talk about the G20, it was formed in 1999. So it comes after G20. However, it predates BRICS. So that means it was formed in 2003, which makes the first statement to be incorrect. We will move there as well. So these are the three spheres: political sphere in the trilateral dialogue mechanism and South-South cooperation. It has also undertaken two very important roles to ensure that South-South cooperation can become easier. It has launched the IPSA fund back in the year 2004 only. This wants to this wants to fund those projects which lie in the developing or the least developed countries, developing or the least developed countries. All right. Apart from that, we also have IPSA-MAR. IPSA-MAR, what is it? IPSA-MAR. That means India, Brazil, South Africa. MAR means marine. So IPSA Marine. This is a naval exercise between the three countries, but it is not annual. The frequency is not mentioned. Frequency depends upon the understanding of each country, and this has not been mandated as a military exercise under Brasilia Declaration. So no mandate of it. No mandate. It is voluntary in nature. It is voluntary in nature. All right. So keep this in mind as well. Okay. So this was all about IPSA. Yes, very good, Anjan. Hi, Vasantara, how are you? So let's talk about what has recently happened at IPSA. We know that India was a chair of G20 in 2023. Brazil was a chair in 2024. And finally, South Africa has been a chair in the year 2025 of G20. That is why IPSA is in the news. Now, if we go through it one by one, looking at IPSA Leaders Summit at the sidelines of the G20 meeting, which recently held in Johannesburg, South Africa. At the IPSA Leaders meeting, which was held on the sidelines of it, India emphasized the need for urgent UN Security Council reforms. UN Security Council reforms means the 5 permanent members, which call themselves 5 permanent, the rule maker, they have to make space for those countries which belong to the global south, and they have a say in the global order. So these countries, because they have already formed a trilateral forum which predates the BRICS but comes after G20, we have to do something together. India also emphasized the need, apart from that, stronger partnership for peace and prosperity, and that is why we have the Voice of the Global South Summit. Voice of the Global South Summit, which actually happened because of the leadership of India. India wants to become a voice of the global south. Okay. Apart from that, we want a new role of IPSA in shaping ethical and human-centric artificial intelligence. Specifically when these countries not only have a trilateral forum of IPSA, apart from that, we are also a part of the G20. Apart from that, we are also a part of the BRICS, right? Brazil, India and South Africa. So we have to ensure that Russia and China also know the importance of IPSA on their own. This is a sphere where India can give a lot of influence. All right. So remember that as well. Moving on to the next one. What has been proposed by India? First, institutionalizing strategic dialogue. Strategy is important, especially when we are talking about like-minded democracy. So what kind of strategy can be proposed? Proposed a regular NSA. Ajit Doval is our NSA. So we need to understand that IPSA, apart from political sphere, can also do a lot in the strategic safety or security sphere. That is why our regular NSA level meeting should be held, so that we can strengthen the defense sector. Why? Because these countries come and join together the 3 maritime influence spheres. Africa is related to, here is Africa, South Africa. It is related to both Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean, right? Here we have India, very predominant in the Indian Ocean region. Here we have South America, which is predominantly important in the Pacific Ocean. So if Indian Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, they all have to come together. It is important that we secure these lines. Why? Because China is trying to dominate this region. That is why an NSA level meeting is suggested, that what can we do to secure our lines in these 3 oceanic regions, specifically when we have a lot of trade that goes through here. Okay. Apart from that, encourage digital public infrastructure. What is digital public infrastructure? Infrastructure that helps in governance of democracies, which is digital in nature. Whatever you see which is digital in nature, that various apps that the government has launched throughout the years, UPI, CoWIN, it is all a part of the digital public infrastructure, including UPI style payments, health platforms like CoWIN, and cyber security frameworks and women-led tech innovations as well. This all has to be conquered. Apart from that, it also established IPSA Climate Resilience Fund. Why? Because these three countries are coastal countries, and because they have a coastline, sea level rise is a major threat apart from other things. So that is why if any country has a lot of information, has a lot of practical experience in ensuring that climate change doesn't threaten their coastal security, they can also do well for other countries as well, such as Brazil and South Africa. So that is why we need a proposed dedicated fund to support climate resilient agriculture among member states. Also, these are countries which have a lot of agricultural interest. In fact, I told you about the IPSA fund, yeah, that was launched in 2004. This is done by UNOSSC. UNOSSC is what? United Nations Office for South-South Cooperation. South-South Cooperation. This applies these funds. This applies these funds. Okay, I told you about all this. Let's move on to our question. What did I tell you about the question? IPSA is the only trilateral grouping comprising developing democracies. First, from Asia, Africa and South America. First is definitely correct, first part, but here it is written that predates both BRICS and the G20, which is incorrect in nature, right? What is CoWIN? CoWIN is the COVID app. You do not know. Oh, that's really strange, because CoWIN just came back 5 years ago, and the CoWIN app, you had to register yourself for vaccination process. CoWIN, it's a vaccination digital platform. Then, so proposed IPSA Digital Innovation Alliance, it is seeming to facilitate the exchange of digital public infrastructure and such as interoperable payment systems and health platforms among member states. So yes, second is correct. Apart from that, IPSA-MAR, which is a naval exercise under IPSA, this is correct, is conducted annually, no, and is mandated under the original Brasilia Declaration, no, it is not. Okay, there is no mandate. Apart from that, the IPSA fund is recognized by the United Nations and has supported development cooperation projects primarily in least developed countries. Yes, primarily means the first preference. All right, so first is incorrect, fourth is incorrect, only second and third are true. That means of all these, there are two statements which are true. So that is why option B will be the correct answer over here. All right, moving on to the next portion. We have Prisons in India 2025 report. Prison in India 2025 report. Sorry guys. Prisons in India 2025 report. This report, Prisons in India 2025 report, has been published by Center for Research and Planning of the Supreme Court. Published by the Center for Research and Planning by the Supreme Court. This is a center under Supreme Court. This looks out for what is the status of prison. What is the status of prison throughout the country? Throughout the country. Specifically, when prison is actually a state subject. It is a state subject in the list 2 of the state 2 of the state list in the schedule 7. Schedule 7. Okay, schedule 7 has lists, right? So it talks about how prisons are upkeeping with overcrowding. What is the status of it? Overcrowding can increase when there is no trial, no proper trial. Only on the basis of allegations and the charges, people are put in jails. So if they do not have a proper trial, they will not be either absolved or convicted. So that is why overcrowding is a big problem, especially in India when pendency of cases is very high. Currently, we know that we have gotten our 53rd Chief Justice of India. And the 53rd Chief Justice of India is extremely important. Why? Because one of his goals as a Chief Justice of India is that he is going to reduce the pendency of cases. So that is why, to reduce the pendency of cases, it is necessary that constant trials occur. If people have been given a date, the trial can occur on that date. And people, I'm talking about criminals or alleged criminals, they can get a proper grievance redressal. So first that. Second, what is the status of caste discrimination in the prison? So that also happens, caste discrimination. Let me write it down over here. Caste discrimination is also a problem. Apart from that, what is the system of gender based discrimination in the prison? What is the utilization of or reformation of prisoners? Reformative jobs given to prisoners. Because our justice system right now is working upon transformative justice system. This is a transformative justice system rather than a retributive justice system. What does this mean? Transformative means that we want a justice system that will give justice to the victims as well as it will transform the people. All right? It will transform the people. Transform the citizens, transform the criminals who have done crime. So we need that kind of justice system. We do not need retributive justice system. Retributive means just to punish, not to transform. Punishment should come along with transformation. Our justice system, which has come a long way since independence, which talks about right now Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Sakshya Suraksha, maaf kijiyega, Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam, Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, all these kind of things can change our justice system into transformative. But right now, whenever we hear these pleas that we must have a justice system where capital punishment should be the norm. This is a retributive justice system. It is so easy to ask for capital punishment, and sometimes it does feel that it is definitely justified to ask for it, especially in child rape cases and in rape cases. But the thing is that our justice system is becoming a little more like the developed countries. It does not want to only punish, it also wants to transform. However idealistic it might sound, but that is the case which is happening right now in country. Okay, so this is the report that we are going to talk about it. Mental health, what is the outdated labor system, all this is discussed. So first of all, look at this question. With reference to prisons in India 2025 report, consider the following statements. The report recommends that under trial cases may be classified as urgent cases to prioritize disposal, especially because under trials constitute more than 2/3 of the total prison population. Who are under trials, who are still going trials, they have not been convicted, neither they have been acquitted. The report notes that despite the existence of open prisons as reform-oriented institutions, their utilization remains significantly lower than that of closed prisons. The Supreme Court recognized Sukanya Shantha judgment prohibits both caste-based track assignments and wage differentiation based on category of prisons. The recommendations call for synchronized real-time data exchange through platforms under the interoperable criminal justice system to strengthen digital legal aid access to and e-prison system. Can anybody answer? Yes, wage disparity is there too in Shrishti, that is also correct. Do it. Do this question. Come on guys, do this question please. Come on. Try. Only Husn Tara has answered. Others also need to answer. Why only Husn Tara has answered? Come on. Only Husn Tara has answered. Others, Achal has also answered. Very good, Achal. Others? Come on, come on. Try to answer this question. Be quick. Achal, after that, Lekpal, Sahu has answered. Okay, Memuna has answered. Others can also answer, please. Shrishti has answered. Okay, others can also answer. Please answer, guys. We need answers. As many answers as possible. Okay, let's move on and talk about this. The report recommends that under trial cases may be classified. First of all, let's look at what this report has suggested. Let's talk about the key findings. First key finding, I have already told you, prisons are state subject. However, in India, okay, very good, Bharti. In India, if we talk about India, India is aligning with United Nations Standard Minimum Rules, which is also known as the Nelson Mandela Rules. These rules are saying that we need to give humane treatment to prisoners. Although we may feel like they don't deserve it, because India is trying to become a transformative justice system. That is why India is aligning with it. There is overcrowding. Overcrowding means that under trials are a lot. They have not been tried. They are getting delayed justice. Delayed justice is also for the criminals, not only for the victims. All right. So there have been many instances where people who have been charged under certain charges of the IPC or any other code, such as the CRPC as well, if they were not tried properly, or if they were kept in a long period of time in prison without any trial, eventually it was found out that they have not done any sort of injustice, or they have not even committed the crime for which they have been charged. So in those instances as well, we need to be assured that even if they are charged, until and unless it is proven, we cannot declare them as criminals. So this is also the case. Prison occupancy rate stands at 131.4%, which is very high. That means they are able to carry 100%, but the prisoners are so many that the overcrowding problem has risen to 131.4%, which is extremely horrendous. 75% of inmates are under trials, which is a systemic delay. That means the entire process is flawed. Why do we take so long to provide justice to people? Even criminals, they should be either charged and convicted, or they should either be absolved or acquitted. Neither happens. So that is a problem. So 75% of 100 equals to what? Do tell me in the comment section. 75% of inmates are under trials. Charges have not been proven. That means only 25% of those who should be in prison are in prison. This is horrendous. Apart from that, open prison means they do not have to be completely kept in jails. Certain types of prisons are made which is open sky. That means they can go in their rooms, come out at a proper time whenever they are told to do so. So this is an open air jail system, prison system, which is just 74% of occupancy. We want it to be at 100% at least, because transformation begins when the mind is clear. Now, some manuals still describe sanitation labor as menial or degrading in nature. That means there is a discrimination on the basis of caste and the work that they do. Anybody who should be cleaning toilets should belong to a certain caste. So why is that so? Why in prison we are allowing it to happen? So that is also a question. Work allocation, which is based on caste, persists in some states, which is declared unconstitutional. In the Sukanya Shantha case, it was told that on the basis of caste, nobody will get their allocation of jobs. It will be done on the basis of job allocation, which is provided on rolling allotment system. So that is one of the things we have to keep in mind. So first of all, we have to talk about this another wage and gender disparity. Prisoner wages vary drastically. Some prisoners can get 20 rupees per day in Mizoram. In Karnataka, we have 524 rupees per day. So why is it so? Why is there no uniformity? Why they are getting this kind of discriminatory wage system when there is a uniformity in the kind of work? Why is it so? So now women prisoners are also largely confined to domestic roles. They just do that kind of job which is domestic in nature, stereotype in nature. There is no provision, no explicit provision for reproductive rights. The legal aid and technology, there is a lack of infrastructure which affects the access to legal aid, which is ensured in Article 39A of the Indian Constitution. Yes, this is not non-justiciable because this is a directive principle of state policy, but it has categorically said that the state must provide access to free legal aid to everyone. State must provide access to free legal aid. Where is it? In fact, we do have under this article only, we have a statute which is the Legal Service Authority Act. We have the Legal Service Authority Act of 1987. Still, many people cannot take the advantage of this particular act. This has very openly stated since 1995 we have a National Legal Service Authority, State Legal Service Authority and the District Legal Service Authority, but people still do not get the advantage of it. Then calls for strengthening interoperable criminal justice system and also the real-time digital data updating so that everybody knows and accountability can be set. What is the system of justice delivery? Recommendations have also been made. First of all, first recommendation is replace discriminatory or outdated terms in the manuals. Whenever you find such things in the manual, it will perpetuate throughout the generations. Why? Because it is in the manual and it gets a validity. Implement rotation-based work, not caste-based work system to eliminate caste-linked labor. Review wages every 3 years. This is also a recommendation. Mark eligible cases of under trials as urgent. Whenever you see a case which is under trial, it has to be marked urgent so that they can be tried and the problem of overcrowding does not exist. Apart from that, strengthen e-prison ecosystem and digital legal aid. All this has to be done. Now, can we answer this question? The report recommends that under trial cases may be classified as urgent cases to prioritize disposal, especially because under trials constitute more than 2/3 of the total prison population. What is 2/3? 75 upon 100. 5 1s are 5 5s are 5 2s are 0. 5 3s are 15. 5 4s are 20. So if it is 3/4, can it also be 2/3, guys? Who will tell me? Hi Mahima. Yes. So yes, first is correct. The second one is the report notes that despite the existence of open prisons as reform-oriented institutions, their utilization remains significantly lower. Yes, that is just at 74% as compared to the closed prisons. The Supreme Court recognized the Sukanya Shanta judgment prohibits both caste-based task assignment and wage differentiation. No, it only talked about caste-based one. So that becomes third is to be incorrect. The recommendation calls for synchronized real-time justice data exchange through reforms under the interoperable criminal justice system to strengthen legal aid, access and e-prison system. So that, hello Utkarsh, how are you? So that makes the first statement to be correct, second statement to be correct, third is incorrect, fourth is correct, 1, 2 and 4. That means option C is going to be the correct answer. How many of you answered option C? Nobody, as I can see. Okay, let's move on to the next part of the question. Next news. First, answer this question. This is an assertion reason question. The ACITI framework prioritizes cooperation in critical minerals and clean energy systems to strengthen long-term technological sovereignty among member nations. Australia, Canada and India collectively possesses significant reserves and industrial capacity in critical minerals required for emerging technologies, making supply chain collaboration strategically advantageous. Can anyone answer it? Achal? Okay, Utkarsh also answered. I think you saw my answer, then you answered. Just answer it correctly, this one. A new framework has been formed between India, Canada and Australia. This is in the field of digital cooperation and trade cooperation. Can anybody answer it? Guys, please answer. I need answers from everyone. The more you answer, the merrier the class will be. So please, please, please answer this question. Be quick about it. Can you please be quick? Which one? Okay, Shrishti has answered, Chirag has answered, okay. Utkarsh has also answered, Lekpal Sahu has answered. Others can answer too. Very good. Khan has also answered. Okay, let us first of all talk about this very important system that has been formulated. India, Australia and Canada, they have announced a new trilateral partnership, which is called the Australia-Canada-India Technology and Innovation Initiative during the G20 summit, which happened in Johannesburg. What is the framework? Framework wants to strengthen the critical collaboration in critical and emerging technologies, which promotes innovation and build resilient technological ecosystem. Now, Mark Carney is the Prime Minister of Canada. Since he came into power, we know that he wants to strengthen the economic relationship with India. India and Canada, they are also now working after a big pause, big political pause that they took since the last 2 years. In 2023, we know the infamous Niger killing. Since then till now, what all has happened? That Mark Carney has become the Prime Minister. And since Mark Carney has become the Prime Minister of Canada, he knows the economic importance of India. What is the economic importance of India? We all know it has a big market, it has ease of doing business, everything else. India is now the fourth largest economy, is on the way to become the third largest economy by 2028. Now, because India is a power in economic sphere, we know that this cannot be at all ignored. So now Canada and India, they are trying to build upon this. The comprehensive economic partnership should be there. CEPA, CEPA, comprehensive economic partnership agreement. This will be finalized very soon, and this has been recently declared at the sidelines of the G20 summit only. Why? Because CEPA will give more outreach to both the countries in their markets. And India and Canada have, under this, they have declared a goal that we have to double our bilateral trade by the year 2030. Double our bilateral trade by the year 2030. That means it has to become $50 billion by the year 2030. Currently, if we go by the statistics, India is Canada's 7th largest trading partner. So remember that as well. India is Canada's 7th largest trading partner. All right. So that is why it is important to make sure that we go ahead. Apart from that, in 2024, even though we were going through a political gap, a political bilateral gap, India and Canada could get a huge partnership in trade as well. India and Canada bilateral trade became 31 Canadian dollars in the year 2024. 31 Canadian dollars. 31 billion, beg your pardon, Canadian dollars in the year 2024. So besides this problem that we had with Canada, we still have a good relationship, trading relationship that has to increase. Okay, and Australia is a binding glue to these countries. The purpose of this new technological partnership that these three countries, the trilateral grouping, will have, to deepen cooperation across strategic technology sector and foster innovation-driven partnership among the three nations. Clean energy technologies specifically and green innovation. India is doing pretty well here. Why? India, under the NDC of the Paris Agreement, it suggests that by the year 2030, we are going to have 45% of our GDP reduction, 45% of our GDP equivalent to be reduced of carbon dioxide. That is why we need clean energy technology. Apart from that, for this year only, India wants 50% of its energy sources to be non-fossil based. So that is why it is important to coordinate with these countries, non-fossil based. And the Belém Declaration has made it very clear that we need to have climate financing. Critical mineral supply chain to enhance resilience and reduce dependence on single source. In fact, recently Australia and USA also signed a big agreement on sharing critical minerals. What are critical minerals? Critical minerals are basically those minerals. India has a list of 30 critical minerals, right? So what are critical minerals exactly? Let's a bit talk about that. If I have to ask you, what are critical minerals? Critical minerals are those minerals which are important for the economic as well as security well-being of our country. Both these bases are important. So any mineral which is important for clean energy equipments, which is important for defense equipments, these minerals such as lithium, nickel, cobalt, vanadium, all these are critical minerals. Why? Because they will be used in equipments which enable renewable energy. These are the equipments which can be used in warships. These are those kind of minerals. Okay. Apart from that, there are many, etc., etc. So that is why they are critical minerals. Critical minerals are those minerals which ensure the economic and security well-being of a country. India has a list of 30 critical minerals, and we know that Australia is very rich in certain critical minerals. So India has officially declared that there are 30 minerals which are extremely important for the technology. That is why we have a list of 30 critical minerals. That could be asked. Yes, very good, Anchal. So in that also we have to do well with these countries. Expansion and deployment of emerging technologies, which includes digital platforms and frontier research. Artificial intelligence also, here also the trio is jointly exploring avenues for accelerated development and widespread adoption of AI to improve governance, quality of life and digital public service. Now, can we answer this question? The correct answer will be the ACITI framework prioritizes cooperation in critical minerals and clean energy system to strengthen long-term technological sovereignty among member nations. Yes, basically in order to challenge the dominance of, very good Bharti, dominance of China. And Australia, Canada and India collectively possess significant reserves and industrial capacity in critical minerals required for emerging technologies, marketing, supply chain collaboration, strategically advantageous. So yes, both are correct and R is the correct reason for A. So option A. Both A and R are correct and R is the correct explanation of A will be the correct answer. Alright, moving on to the next question. Let's look at it. Article 240. We have a question from Article 240. With reference to Article 240 of the Indian Constitution, consider the following statements. Article 240 empowers the President to frame regulations having the same force as an Act of Parliament. For certain union territories, Chandigarh is currently governed under Article 240, enabling the President to appoint a separate administrator for it. The current administrative arrangement for Chandigarh involves the Punjab governor functioning as the union territory administrator. Please answer this question. Please answer this question, guys. I know you know the answer. We need answers. Come on, come on. Everyone will answer correctly. Come on. Please answer. Come on. Okay, Chirag is saying B. Apart from Chirag, anybody else? Lekpal Sahu is saying B. Shrishti is also saying B. Aanchal is also saying B. Kanhaiya is also saying B. Has also said, no, Kanhaiya has said C. Very okay, Kanhaiya. Khan has said B. Bharti has said B. Anybody else wants to contribute? Bamuna has said B. Anybody else wants to contribute? Shrishti is saying second is wrong. Okay, second wrong. Okay. Come on, come on. Okay, so let's talk about Article 240. Article 240 gives power to the President for better administration of union territories, right? Why we are discussing it? We will discuss that as well. Article 240 of the Indian Constitution. Article 240. What does it do? It empowers the President to make laws for peace, progress, and better administration of union territories. And better administration of UTs, right? Currently, if we see that there are three economies, three union territories which are a part of it. For example, Andaman and Nicobar is a part of it, under it. Andaman and Nicobar is, what the fish is happening? First, then Lakshadweep is also a part of it. Lakshadweep. And Dadra and Nagar Haveli. Dadra and Nagar Haveli is a part of it. Now, Chandigarh is not a part of it. Keep that in mind. Chandigarh is outside its purview right now. Not included. Why we are discussing it? Because recently in the bulletin of the Lok Sabha, it was mentioned that in the winter session, Article 240 will be introduced. Article 240 will be empowered or will be utilized to select a different administrator for Chandigarh. Right now, it is under the control, or you can say administration through the Punjab. Who? Punjab who? Who is the administrator of Punjab? Right now, it is being administered through Punjab. So, Article 240, if there was a lot of hue and cry that it has to be ensured that, we get possibilities that we need a different administrator for Chandigarh with the help of Article 240, but it will not be introduced as told. Now, that makes the second statement to be incorrect. As Shrishti said, Chandigarh is correctly governed under Article 240, which is incorrect. Now, if it was introduced, then what will happen? Then a separate administrator would be chosen for Chandigarh. Now, Article 240 empowers the President to frame regulation having the same force as that of the Parliament. Yes, this is definitely correct. Current administrative arrangement for Chandigarh has been going through Punjab's governor, and he is functioning or she is functioning as the Union Territory Administrator. So first and third are correct, but second is not correct. So B, option B is the correct answer. Who all have answered? Let me see. I think Chirag answered, then Lekpal has answered, then Shrishti has answered, Anchal has answered, Kanaya. B is the correct answer. Khan has answered, Bharti has answered, Maimuna has answered. Okay, Shrishti has answered. Very good. So this was very important for us to know. Now looking at next question, look at this word with reference to, this is hung. With reference to the term parasocial, consider the following statements. Parasocial relationships can develop without any reciprocal communication, yet the individual may perceive the connection as emotionally real. Next, the rise of AI chatbots and social media has expanded the concept of parasocial relationships beyond traditional celebrity audience dynamic. Can anyone tell me? Very good, Achal. Can anyone tell me what is the correct answer to this question? Can anyone tell me, guys, what is the correct answer to this question? Parasocial. Do it. Come on. Come on. I need answers. Okay, Shrishti says C is the correct answer. Others? Can others also answer? Shrishti has said C is the correct answer. Can others answer? What is the correct answer to this question? Only Shrishti has answered C. Apart from Shrishti, Chirag has answered B. Very good. Apart from Shrishti and Chirag, can we get more answers, guys? Lekpal Sahu, Aanchal has answered. Okay. What is a parasocial relation? This word parasocial is the Cambridge Dictionary word of the year. Parasocial. Parasocial. For the year 2025, this has been selected as the Cambridge Dictionary word of the year. What does it mean? Dictionary word of the year for the year 2025. What does it mean? It means that any person, any individual, if they maintain a one-sided relationship with any fictional character, for example, Chacha Chaudhary, with any fictional character. First, if it maintains a relationship with any digital chatbot, for example, ChatGPT, digital chatbot. If they maintain a relationship, single-sided relationship with a public figure, and they may not even know that the person exists. So, they may not know that the person even exists. This is parasocial. Parasocial relationship says that if you have a one-sided relationship with a public figure, for example, Shah Rukh Khan, and you treat them or any one of these as friends, as family, even as romantic interest, so then you are in a parasocial relationship. Romantic relation. So this is a parasocial relationship, and it has been given this because many people have been treating this ChatGPT as their husband and wife. I mean, why would you do that when you can get this person in real life? So with reference to term parasocial, consider the following statements. Parasocial relationships can develop without any reciprocal communication. Yes, it may be possible that the person you are in a parasocial relationship with, they may not even know that you exist. Suppose I start liking Shah Rukh Khan too much. So Shah Rukh Khan doesn't know who I am. So that is a parasocial relationship. Yet the individual may perceive the connection as emotionally real. Yes, many people, as I said, they have been getting this very important this thing that they are marrying ChatGPT. So that's not possible now. How can you do that? The rise of AI chatbots and social media have expanded the concept of parasocial relations beyond traditional celebrity audience dynamic, definitely. So first and second both are correct. That is why option C here will be the correct answer. Let me see how many of you have answered. Yes, many other words have also been added. Yes, delulu. Delulu means what? They are delusional. Yes, so all these stupid words, they have been added. Parasocial is still much better. But what is delulu and vibey and slop and glazing? Oh, what is delulu? Delulu is the only solulu. That means if you are delusional, be delusional because that is the only solution. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for connecting with me till the very end of the class. I would want each and every one of you to connect tomorrow again at the same time, at the same place. Bye bye everyone. Tata. Take care. Let's meet soon. And yes, I want to give you one question for your homework so that you can do it. It's a little tough. However, it is UPSC like. So you have to answer it correctly in the comment segment. With reference to Draft Electricity Bill 2025, consider the following statements. The bill mandates universal service obligation for all distribution licensees without permitting any exemptions under any circumstances. First. Second, the bill proposes time-bound elimination of cross subsidies for certain industrial and transport consumers to promote competitive manufacturing. The bill empowers state electricity regulatory commissions to determine tariffs even in the absence of tariff applications submitted by distribution licensees. So you have to comment about it in the comment section. Please ensure that you answer it in the comment box. Let me take the names of those students who have answered my last question correctly. Give me few moments to take them out. Just a moment, guys. Yes, we do have here, and answer it in the comment section, okay? The last one which I gave you, nobody answered. Why did you not answer? Now this question has to be answered, okay? So now let's move back to KGS IAS Hindi. Come there as well. Bye bye, take care.